Listen to me. Nobody owes you anything. Not your parents, not your boss, not your friends, not your teachers, not the world. And you got to stop walking around like somebody out there supposed to hand you success on a silver platter. You say you got a dream? Cool. You got talent? Great. But guess what? The world's full of talented people who never did a thing with their life because they waited. Waited on a break. Waited on support. Waited on somebody to recognize them. Stop waiting. You don't need another pat on the back. You don't need a permission slip. You don't need a cosigno. What you need is grit. What you need is discipline. What you need is to look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm not leaving this life empty. I'm not walking away from my calling. I'm not quitting until I finish what I started. You owe you, not them, you. You owe yourself the life you saw when nobody else saw it. You owe yourself the grind when no one is watching. You owe yourself the version of you that's focused, dialed in, and locked into the vision. You walking around with $1 million dream and 5-cent work ethic. That's why you're frustrated. That's why you're not moving forward. You want the outcome, but you're not ready to pay the price. And the price is pain, it's late nights, it's showing up when you're tired, it's staying locked in when the type is gone and the motivation is dead. Motivation fades, discipline stays. I'm telling you right now, if you're waiting for it to get easier, you're gonna be waiting the rest of your life. The process doesn't get easier. You get stronger, you get tougher, you get tougher, you get wiser. The pain doesn't stop, but your ability to push through it doesn't flinch anymore. You started this, so finish it. You made the promise, so honor it. You saw the vision, so build it. Stop looking around. Stop blaming your circumstances. You're not stuck because of your environment. You're stuck because you keep quitting every time it gets hard. You keep tapping out when it doesn't feel good. Let me break it to you. Comfort zones don't pay bills and they don't build legacies. You want legacy? Go to the place that scares you. Stay there, work there, build there. That's where greatness lives. And yeah, I get it, you've been hurt, you've been overlooked, you've been doubted, but none of that is a reason to stop. If anything, that's more fuel. That's more reason to go harder. That's your edge, that's your fire. You owe it to yourself to go all in. Half-heated effort brings half-baked results. Oh, can't give 60% and expect 100% returns. This ain't school, you don't get partial credit. Either you did it or you didn't. Either you went after it with everything you had, no secret, there's no shortcut. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is filled with one thing: grind. Let me say it again. Nobody owes you, but you owe yourself everything. The late nights, the early mornings, the consistency, the sacrifices. That's the rent you pay to see the dream come to life. You said you wanted to change your life? Good. Now back it up with action. You said you wanted freedom? Now pay for it in discipline. You said you wanted greatness? Then be willing to outwork everybody in the room every single day. You can't cry and grind at the same time. Make a choice. Either complain or execute. Either talk about it or be about it. Either sit and wish or stand and work. So stop chasing validation. You don't need people to believe in you. You need to believe in you. Because when you believe in you, you don't stop when it's hard. You don't fall when it gets lonely. You don't quit when it takes longer than expected. You finish it. You close it. You bring it home. You owe it to the little version of you that used to dream without fear. You owe it to your future self that's depending on you to stop playing small and go all in. This is your life. This is your shot, and nobody's gonna give it to you. You gotta take it, so stand up, lock in, and go get it done. Stop talking, start doing it. Everybody's got ideas, everybody's got dreams, but the world don't move for dreamers, it moves for doers. People out here waiting for motivation like it's a text message they ain't received yet. Listen to me, motivation is a luxury. Discipline is survival. You don't need another plan, you don't need more opinions, you don't need validation. You need action. You need action. You need to get up and get it done. The difference between where you are and where you want to be. Execution, not thoughts, not feelings. Just work, just reps, just rep. Just decisions made when no one's clapping for you, when no one's watching, when every part of you says a quit, then you stay back. Not today. Not today. You want your dream to live? Then you gotta bleed for it. You gotta build for it. You gotta sacrifice for it. While they scroll, you build. While they sleep, you grind. While they party, you plot. Why? Because you want different, you demand different. The people who make it in life don't wait for perfect conditions. They create them. They don't wait until they feel like it. They move anyway. You're not always gonna feel it. So what? Do it anyway. The mountain don't care how tired you are. The goal don't care about your excuses. You either get it done or you don't. And if you don't, someone else will. So the question ain't a can you? It's a will you? Will you push through when it's not fair? Will you move when your legs say stop? Will you show up when life keeps swinging on you? Listen to me. Get it done. Get it done tired. Get it done scared. Get it done confused. Get it done broke. Just don't leave it undone. Because the version of you that's waiting on the other side, the future you, the winning you, the powerful, focused, respected, fulfilled you, they only show up when you do. So stop playing with your potential. Stop negotiating with laziness. Stop explaining your failure like it makes sense. Stand up, lock in, and get it done. You don't need permission, you need grit. Stop waiting for someone to greenlight your dreams. You are the permission slip. That sentence right there, it's not just a line, it's a wake-up call. Too many people are walking through life with their foot hovering over the gas pedal. Eyes on the road, full of desire, full of dreams, but waiting for someone to tell them it's okay to go. Waiting for validation, waiting for approval. Waiting for some sign from the universe to tell them they're worthy, they're ready, or they're allowed. But here's the truth. No one's coming to give you the green light. No one's coming to anoint you. No one's going to walk into your life, grab your hand and say, and now is the time. That's your job. You've got a dream burning inside of you. But instead of chasing it with everything you've got, you're stuck in neutral, looking around to see who's watching, who's clapping, or who's giving you the go-ahead. You don't need applause to start. Oh, you don't need a coach in your corner screaming, who got this? You need grit. You need the kind of fire that doesn't beg for recognition. It creates results in silence. You need that inner gear that kicks in when the world goes quiet and it's just you versus your excuses. Your excuses. The problem is, we've been trained to think we need permission to move forward. School taught us to raise our hand. Work taught us to follow the system. Society told us, await your turn. And now you build your life around permission instead of passion. But life doesn't reward people who wait. It rewards those who act. Every successful person you admire, they didn't wait for perfect timing. They didn't wait for someone to say, go ahead. Go ahead. They decided. They moved. They got tired of sitting in the audience of their own life and finally stepped on stage. Permission is a trap. It convinces you that someone else holds the keys to your future, but you hold the keys you always have. You keep telling yourself you'll start when things settle down, when you get more support, when you're more prepared. But deep down, you know that's fear dressed up as logic. You don't need more credentials. You don't need another cause. You don't need more people to believe in you. You need to believe in yourself enough to take the first step, even if your knees are shaking. And grit is a difference between potential and performance. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not connections. It's your capacity to keep going when everything inside you says stop. It's doing the work no one sees, showing up when it's inconvenient, when motivation disappears. Grit is the voice in your head that says, hey, get up. Do it anyway. It's the habit of action, not the mood of inspiration. Grit means you refuse to be defined by your current circumstances, and you choose to be defined by your next move. People out here treating their dreams like fragile glass, too afraid to touch them, too afraid to fail. But dreams are not glass, they're bricks. You build with them, you sweat over them. You break your back for them. And yes, sometimes you drop one, sometimes it gets heavy, but you keep building. That's grit. That's how empires are made. You need to stop thinking the people at the top were handed a map, and you weren't. They didn't have better directions. They had more drive. They created their path. And when there wasn't a door, they built one. And when there wasn't an invitation, they showed up anyway. You can't keep shrinking your goals to fit your comfort zone. You've got to expand your capacity to endure pressure, to withstand failure, to bounce back harder every single time. That's grit. Waiting for permission keeps you stuck. It keeps you small. It convinces you that someone else holds the pen to your story, but you are born with the pen in your hand. It's your life. It's your vision. And that dream you keep seeing in your mind, that's not a suggestion. It's a calling. And callings don't come with permission slips. They come with sacrifice. They come with discomfort. They come with challenge. But if you've got the grit, you've got what it takes to answer it. No one else can feel your fire. No one else knows what keeps you up at night, what pulls at your soul, what vision won't leave you alone. That's because it wasn't given to them. It was given to you. So why are you looking for someone else to approve what's already been assigned to you? Every second you spend hesitating is time lost building. Every excuse is just you stepping out of line in your own race. The finish line is waiting. But first, you got to step to the line. And no, there won't be anyone standing there handing you a medal just for starting. But you don't need a medal. You need momentum. You need that inner why that refuses to quit when it gets real. Because the truth is, no one will fight for your dream harder than you will. And if you don't show the world what you've got, if you don't go all in, then you are the only thing that ever stood in your own way. You said, next point. You can't be half in and expect full results. Success only shows up when you do, fully, completely, no tap outs. ChatGPT said, absolutely. Here's the expanded version of the next key point in 800 words, written in the gritty, passionate style inspired by Eric Thomas, but without naming him. This piece has no introduction or conclusion as requested, just pure intensity from start to finish. You can't be half in and expect full results. Success only shows up when you do, fully, completely, no tap outs. That's the truth. You can't play both sides. You can't chase comfort and greatness at the same time. You can't have one foot in the grind and one foot in the excuse. You either commit to the process or you don't. And if you don't, stop wondering why it's not working. This isn't a game where effort gets you a participation trophy. This is life. This is legacy. This is blood, sweat, tears, and results that only come when you sell out to the mission. Half-heated effort gets you half-baked outcomes. That's why some people stay stuck. Not because they don't have talent, not because they don't have potential, but because they keep showing up when it's easy and disappearing when it's hard. That ain't commitment. That's convenience. You want to know why winners win? It's because they burn the bridge back to average. They cut off the escape route. They don't flirt with greatness. They marry it. Fully in, fully committed, fully obsessed. You can't just dabble in your dream. You can't treat your vision like a hobby and expect it to pay you like a career. This ain't some side hustle mentality. This is life on the line mentality. It's all in or stay out. People want full-time results with part-time hustle. That's the problem. They want the six-pack, but they hit the gym twice a month. They want the business, but they won't wake up early or stay up late. They want the influence, the impact, the income, but they want it on sale. Success ain't on clearance. You pay full price, and the currency is your effort, your focus, your consistency. You've got to stop clocking in and out of your grind like it's a job you hate. This is your dream. This is your life. So why are you giving it leftover energy? Why are you committed when it feels good but ghosts when it gets heavy? That's not how greatness works. That's not how legacies are built. You can't microwave mastery. You can't shortcut purpose. You've got to lock in and stay there. People out here treating success like a part-time relationship. Like you can cheat on your dream with distractions and it won't notice. But it does. Every time you choose comfort over progress, every time you hit snooze, every time you say it tomorrow, your dream backs up one step because it only moves forward when you do. There's a difference between interest and commitment. When you're interested, you do when it's convenient. When you're committed, you do it regardless, rain or shine, broke or bowling, tired or energized. You show up because it's who you are, not what you feel. That's what it takes. That's what separates the ones who make it from the ones who just post quotes about making it. Some of you are negotiating with your vision. You're trying to see how little you can give and still get something back. You're rationing effort. You're measuring discipline. And then you wonder why nothing's changing. You can't cheat this. You can't finesse your way to the top. You have to put in the work day after day when it's boring, when it's brutal, when it feels like it's not even working. Because that's when it is working. That's when your character is being carved. That's when your next level is being built, one invisible brick at a time. Half in means one excuse is all it takes to knock you out. All it takes is a bad day, a distraction, a little discomfort, and you're done. But when you're all in, nothing can move you. Not pain, not pressure, not people. You're unshakable because you've already decided that quitting isn't even an option. Success doesn't owe you anything just because you kind of want it. It responds to obsession. It responds to work ethic. It responds to people who show up broken and battered but still execute. That's the standard. That's the level. That's what all in looks like. And let me make this real clear. It's not just about the hustle. It's about heart. It's about soul. You can have the schedule, the structure, the checklist, but if your spirit isn't committed, the results won't come. You've got to feel this thing in your bones. You've got to wake up thinking about it and go to bed still working on it in your mind. It has to consume you, not drain you, but drive you. When you're fully in, success starts moving. Opportunities find you. Breakthroughs show up, but only when it sees you're serious, fully present, fully engaged. That's when momentum kicks in. That's when you become a force that can't be stopped. So stop dipping your toe in. Stop showing up when it's trending. Stop treating your gift like an option. If you want it, all of it, then give all of it, then give all of you. No tap outs, no plan B, just purpose. Just pressure, just progress. Excuses are just stories you tell yourself to stay comfortable. That's it. They're lies dressed up as logic. They're soft pillows for a mind that doesn't want to stretch. They sound smart, they sound reasonable, but all they really do is keep you small. Every excuse you've ever made has one purpose: to protect you from the discomfort of growth. That's the only reason they exist. They're not truth. They're not facts. They're fear in disguise. You don't have time? No, you're just not making time. You're not broke, you're just undisciplined. You're not tired, you're just unmotivated. You're not stuck, you're just scared to move. Be real with yourself. Every excuse has become your permission slip to not go harder. Every excuse has become a pass to stay average, to stay hidden, to stay soft. And you know why that's dangerous? Because the longer you tell the story, the more you start believing it. You start making your limitations your identity. You start treating your excuses like facts. I'm not good with people. I wasn't born into opportunity. I summon what they have. You repeat it so much, you forget that it was just a story. Something you created to avoid pain. But the pain you avoid now becomes the pain you live with later. That's the deal. The truth, work wins, not excuses. Not potential, not personality, not talent. Work wins, period. The people who are getting it done aren't better than you. They're just willing to show up even when it's hard. They're willing to look dumb, to feel uncomfortable, to take the hits and still keep swinging. While you're making excuses, they're making moves. While you're explaining why you can't, they're building proof that they can. Excuses are mental junk food. They give you temporary relief and long-term regret. They satisfy you in the moment, but leave you empty inside. You get to be right for a second. Yeah, it wasn't the right time. I really was too busy. But deep down, you know you let yourself off the hook. And when you do that enough times, you stop trusting yourself. You stop believing your own potential. You shrink your dreams to match your effort. Comfort is the enemy of greatness, and excuses are the language of comfort. Every time you say, it's not my fault, you give your power away. Every time you say, it's too hard, you plant doubt instead of discipline. You say, it's impossible. And now your brain goes to work, proving that instead of fighting for your breakthrough, you got to kill the story. You gotta starve the excuse. You gotta choke out the voice that keeps whispering reasons why you shouldn't go all in. Because that voice, it will cost you your future. That voice will keep you broken and blaming everyone but the one person in charge. You. The real ones don't need perfect circumstances. They don't need the stars to align. They just need breath in their lungs and a reason. And if your reason is real, if it's tied to your why, to your purpose, then you'll find a way. You'll do it broke. You'll do it tired. You'll do it when no one claps, when no one supports. When everything says stop, you'll still move. Because excuses don't live where vision is strong. If your vision is clear, you don't negotiate with comfort. You don't sit around explaining why life is hard. You already know it's hard. But you also know you were built for it. You were built for pressure. You were made to endure, to fight, to rise. So why are you talking yourself out of your own greatness? Too many people are addicted to sympathy. Addicted to people patting them on the back saying, it's okay, you're trying. You know what's better than trying, doing, finishing, overcoming. You don't need more encouragement. You need to look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm done lying to myself. I'm done making excuses that sound like reasons. I'm done holding back because it's hard. The truth? It will always be hard, but hard is not a reason to quit. It's a reason to level up. It's a sign you're in the right place. Growth doesn't live in convenience. It lives in repetition. It lives in resistance. And when you show up day after day, even when you don't feel like it, that's when you build power. That's when you build character. That's when you build proof that you are who you said you were. Every time you silence the excuse and choose effort instead, you win. Every time you kill the story and live the truth, you level up. Because truth is heavier than lies, but it also sets you free. The truth forces you to take ownership. The truth forces you to dig deeper. And the truth always leads to results. So stop telling yourself why it won't work and start showing yourself what happens when you stop giving up. The story has had enough chapters. Time to change the plot. Time to take control. Time to prove that your work ethic speaks louder than your excuses ever did. Comfort zones don't pay bills or build legacies. That safe little box you're living in is costing you everything you say you want. Comfort feels good, but it doesn't produce results. It gives you short-term peace and long-term pain. You can't grow where it's easy. You can't become great doing what's familiar. If comfort is your strategy, then mediocrity is your destination. Growth lives in the places you avoid, the hard conversations, the early mornings, the late nights. The workouts when your body says no. The studying when your mind is tired. The building when the world is doubting you. That's where growth lives, in the fire. Not in the soft places, not in the routine, not in the zone where nothing challenges you. If it doesn't scare you, it won't stretch you. And if it doesn't stretch you, it won't elevate you. You want a legacy. You want to be remembered? Then stop hiding. Legacies are not born in hiding. They're built in battle. You've got to go to the uncomfortable places. Plant yourself there and grind like your life depends on it, because it does. You keep ducking pain, but pain is where the transformation is. You keep avoiding struggle, but struggle is where champions are made. Comfort convinces you that you're okay where you are. But if where you are doesn't match the vision in your soul, then it's a lie. Comfort is clever like that. It speaks in soft tones. It says, relax, you've done enough. It says, hey, tomorrow is better. It says, we're tired, take a break. But none of that builds legacy. None of that pays your bills. None of that feeds your purpose. It just keeps you distracted and delayed. Comfort zones are where dreams go to die. They're the graveyards of potential, full of people who could have, should have, almost did, but didn't. Why? Because it got hard, because it got scary, because it stopped being fun. And instead of rising to the challenge, they ran to the familiar. They crawled back into the shell of comfort and convinced themselves that survival was good enough. But it's not. You weren't built to survive, you were built to dominate. You want to know where your next level lies? It's not in another book. It's not in another park. It's not in another podcast. It's not in another motivational post. It's in the thing you keep running from. That fear, that challenge, that skill you haven't mastered, that grind you keep skipping, that hard thing you know you need to face. That's the door. Growth isn't hiding from you. It's waiting for you to show up where it hurts. Go there, stay there, win there. Because when you stay in the uncomfortable long enough, it stops being scary. It becomes your new normal. The thing that used to break you becomes the thing that builds you. The weight that used to crush you becomes the weight that shapes you. But only if you stay long enough to get through the pain and into the power. Most people dip their toe in discomfort and then sprint back to comfort the second it burns. But that burn, that's the proof you're in the right place. That's where growth begins. You don't build muscle without tearing it first. You don't build character without testing it first. And you don't build legacy without earning it. Bills don't care how cozy your life is. Life doesn't reward intentions, it rewards action. You could have all the dreams in the world, all the goals written down, all the vision boards hanging up. But if you keep avoiding the uncomfortable places, you'll never cash in on any of it. Purpose doesn't live in your feelings. Purpose lies in your fight. You want a different life? You want a different life? Then do different things. Do what scares you. Do what stretches you. Do what most people won't. Stop living in the repetition of ease and step into the chaos of growth. Stop repeating last year. Stop recycling your old limits. Go to the place where your excuses get exposed, where your habits get tested, where your mind has to rise or get left behind. That place is where the real work happens. And yes, it's lonely. Yes, it's painful. Yes, it's frustrating, but it's also transformational. That's where confidence is born. That's where discipline is sharpened. That's where results are created. No legacy was ever built by someone who stayed where it was safe. The greats, they ran straight into the storm. They made peace with pressure. They trained in the fire. They lived in the uncomfortable until it bowed to them. You've got to do the same. Stop asking for ease. Ask for strength. Stop praying for comfort. Pray for courage. Stop wishing things would get easier. Make yourself tougher. Comfort zones are the illusion of success. They make you feel like you're doing something, but deep down you know you're stuck. You can fake it for a while. Post the quotes, talk the talk, but when it's time to show proof, the truth shows up. And if all you've done is stay where it's easy, your results will expose you. So go where it hurts. Go where you feel insecure. Go where it's hard to breathe, and stay there. Stay until you outgrow the fear. Stay until your results speak louder than your doubts. Stay until your comfort zone expands to match your destiny. And once it does, go again, keep growing, keep moving, keep elevating, because comfort zones may feel safe, but they'll never make you strong. Discipline will drag you across the finish line when motivation dies. Because motivation is hype, it's emotion, it's loud when it's fresh, but quiet when it's time to sweat. Discipline, no, discipline is silent. It's the quiet killer. It's what keeps you moving when every voice in your head is begging you to stop. Motivation is a moment. Discipline is a mindset. One gets you started, but the other gets you finished. That's why most people fall off. Not because they didn't want it, not because they didn't believe in it, but because they were addicted to feeling inspired. They were chasing fire, not building structure. They thought motivation would carry them through the grind. But the grind doesn't care about how inspired you are. The grind only respects what you do when you don't feel like doing anything. Motivation dies in the dark. It dies in the cold mornings, in the tired evenings, in the silence where no one's clapping for you. It dies after failure. It dies after a bad week. It dies after life hits you in the mouth. But discipline survives. Discipline is built for the storm. It doesn't flinch when it gets hard. It doesn't break under pressure. It's what makes sure you show up regardless. You can't rely on being in the mood. You think champions feel like working every day? You think greatness is born out of convenience? No, it's born out of routine, out of systems, out of reps, out of showing up at 5 a.m. whether it's raining or not, whether you feel strong or not, whether you're winning or losing. Discipline doesn't check how you feel. It checks whether you did it or not. Simple. Lock into your routine like your life depends on it, because it does. Your future depends on what you do daily, not occasionally, not when it's exciting. Every day, your habits create your outcomes. Your routine becomes your reputation, and your consistency becomes your advantage. Discipline is your edge when everything else falls apart. There are days you won't want to get up, days your body will hurt, days your mind will play games. Discipline don't care. Discipline says, oh, let's go. Discipline says, oh, we move anyway. Discipline says, oh, we move anyway. Discipline says a day, integrity with yourself. Keeping the promises you made when you were focused, even when the motivation is gone. And here's the truth, discipline ain't glamorous. It's not flashy, it's not loud, it's not fun, but it's effective. It's a weapon most people refuse to use because it doesn't give instant gratification. It's slow, it's repetitive, it's hard, but it works. And it always pays off if you stay the course. People say they're committed, but they only work when they're hyped up. They say they want it bad, but they tap out when the excitement wears off. You can't build an empire off mood swings. You need structure. You need systems. You need a standard that doesn't move based on your emotions. Discipline means doing this boring. Discipline means pushing when no one's watching. Discipline means finishing when your legs are shaking, your heart's racing, and everything in you is screaming to quit, but you don't. That's when you separate. That's when you break through. That's when you build the kind of identity that success recognizes. You can't build a championship life on motivational quotes and feel-good moments. You build it brick by brick, day after day, doing the small things with excellence. The meals, the workouts, the studying, the calls, the reps, the reading, the writing, the stretching, the practicing. Every single thing matters. And when you do it with discipline, even when you don't want to, you get results most people will never touch. Motivation is external. Discipline is internal. Motivation is a guest. Discipline is the landlord. Discipline owns the space where growth happens. It owns the gym. It owns the office. It owns the early mornings and the late nights. And when motivation disappears, which it always does, Discipline is still standing, still pushing, still producing. That's why you need to stop waiting to feel like it. Stop waiting to be ready. Stop waiting to be inspired. Just build a routine. Build a system. Show up every day and execute. Stack your days like bricks until you build something real. And when you want to quit, let your discipline speak louder than your doubt. Nobody's coming to remind you. Nobody's going to beg you to keep going. That's your job. You're the one who has to care enough to stay consistent. You're the one who has to wake yourself up. You're the one who has to punch in when your energy is low and your schedule is full. That's what separates real ones from the rest. Not talent, not luck, discipline. So yeah, motivation might get you in the door. But if you want to finish, if you want to win, discipline is what's gonna carry you across that line. Nobody owes you, but you owe yourself everything. Read that again. Let it slap you in the face. Let it shake the entitlement out of you. The world doesn't owe you success. It doesn't owe you opportunities, handouts, or shortcuts. It doesn't care about your potential. It only responds to your grind, to your ability to take the vision in your head and pay the price to make it real. You keep waiting for someone to see you, to discover you, to validate you. But what you really need is to look yourself in the mirror and realize this whole thing. It's on you. Every goal, every dream, every move, it's your responsibility. You chose this. You said you wanted it. You started it. So now, finish it. Stop blaming your environment. Stop blaming your upbringing. Stop pointing fingers at the job, the government, your circle, your parents. Nobody's coming to save you. No one is obligated to believe in you. No one has to understand your dream. That's not their job. That's yours. They don't owe you encouragement. They don't owe you encouragement. They don't owe you support. You owe yourself execution. You owe it to the future version of you that's waiting. That person with financial freedom. That person with peace. And they don't show up just because you are wanted. They show up when you put your head down and go earn it. You've got the vision. You see it. You feel it. It wakes you up. It haunts you. But you've been trying to have the vision without the price. And it doesn't work like that. Visions aren't fantasies. They're blueprints. But blueprints don't build buildings. Sweat builds buildings. Labor builds them. Day in, day out, with no applause, no shortcuts, no certainty. Just you, doing the work even when it hurts. The truth is, the gap between where you are and where you want to be is not a mystery. It's effort. That's it. Not talent, not timing. Just effort. Relentless, disciplined, focused effort. Not once a week. Not when it's convenient. Not when you feel like it. But every single day. Because you owe it to yourself to find out how far you can really go. Nobody owes you a fair shot. Life's not fair. It never has been. And you can either cry about that, or you can get up and use every ounce of that pain as fuel. Every closed door, every no, every moment you overlook, use it. Convert it into work. Turn it into fire. Let it remind you that the dream was never going to be handed to you. It was going to be earned. You started this, so finish it. Stop quitting every time it gets tough. Stop abandoning every goal the second it costs more than you expected. You can't just be committed when it's exciting. You've got to stay locked in when it's quiet, when it's draining, when progress is invisible and success feels 100 miles away. The world owes you nothing, but you owe yourself everything you said you were going to do. The promises you made in private, the goals you wrote down, the late nights you swore would mean something. That dream you kept alive while everyone else called it crazy. You owe it your full fight. Nobody's going to hand you closure. Nobody's going to put the crown on your head. You have to become the version of you that takes it, that earns it, that creates it. You have to stop looking outside for the thing that only comes from inside. Drive, willpower, faith, discipline, ownership. This is your life, and no one is going to care more about it than you. And here's the truth most people don't want to face. If you don't go get it, you'll live the rest of your life watching someone else live the life you were supposed to build. Watching someone else make the money you could have made, lead the business you could have led. Walk the stage you should have walked, not because they were better, just because they kept going. You owe yourself the version of you that doesn't fold under pressure, that doesn't need a cheer squad, that doesn't run from pain. You owe yourself the kind of legacy that your future kids, your family, your name will be proud of. Not one built on excuses, but one built on execution. So stop waiting for permission. Stop hoping someone's going to give you a handout. Look at your life. Look at your life. Look at the dream. And then ask yourself one thing. Am I paying the price or just talking about it? Because nobody owes you the dream, but you owe it to yourself to make it real.